snakes are some of the most beautiful and fascinating reptile species that we have in the animal kingdom. But if we're being completely honest, they make horrible pets for the vast majority of reptile keepers. But what if I told you there were some snake species that looked and behaved just like venomous snakes without presenting all of the dangers that venomous snakes bring to the table? In this video, we are going to be counting down the top 5 best alternatives to venomous snakes. My name is Pierce LaValle. This is Pierce's Planet. Stick around. Yo, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing amazing. Today's video is going to be a fun one. We are going to be counting down the top 5 best alternatives to venomous snakes. Before we get started, I just wanted to put a disclaimer out there for you guys. In no way, shape, or form am I saying that if you own any of these snakes that I put on this list, that you are ready to own venomous snakes. I just feel the need to put that out there because I don't want anybody watching this video getting any bright ideas and thinking that because they own certain non-venomous snakes, they are ready to own venomous. No non-venomous snake will ever be able to prepare you for owning a venomous snake. So the way I made this video was basically comparing venomous snakes to non-venomous snakes and comparing their behaviors and the way they look and their possible potential care in captivity if you were to own them. So coming in at number 5 on the list might be a little bit of a boring one. It might have been one that you guys definitely saw coming, and that is coral snakes. Coral snakes are a venomous snake that is found in North and South America and parts of Asia. Coral snakes are in the elapid family, which means they're in the same family as cobras. So they are a highly venomous snake species. So this might be super obvious, but what could possibly be a great alternative to coral snakes? That answer would be milk snakes. I know, this one's just a super stretch. Milk snakes are great alternatives if you wanted to own a coral snake because they look almost identical to coral snakes. And that's because in the wild, milk snakes actually mimic coral snakes to try to keep predators away from them. There is a saying that a lot of you might already know that is a way to tell them apart in North America. Some of you may have heard the sayings, red touches yellow, you're a dead fellow. Red touches black, you're okay, Jack. And that means that if you see a snake out in the wild that looks like a milk snake or a coral snake and you look at their banding, if the red banding touches the yellow banding, that is a coral snake. If the black banding touches the red banding, that is a milk snake. Now that only applies to North American species of coral snakes. There are some species of coral snakes in South America where the red touches the black and they are still deadly. So if you're out anywhere in the wild and you don't know if it's a milk snake or a coral snake, I'd say just leave it alone and don't even attempt to pick it up anyways. These snakes also stay about the same exact size as each other, about 3 to 5 feet long. In the wild, these snakes live in the same areas, so I'm assuming the care of a coral snake is probably almost identical to the care of a milk snake. Like I said in the beginning of this video, don't go out and get a coral snake unless you are a professional. But if you want something that is just like a coral snake, then a milk snake is the way to go. And honestly, you could tell your friends when they came over that that was a coral snake and they probably wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. And these two are probably the best on the list in terms of like how similar they look and how they act and how you care for them and everything. But I just couldn't put them any higher on the list because they're just so obvious. Like this is such an obvious one, and we're gonna get a lot more far-fetched while we go up the list. So coming in at number 4 on the list is a very popular and probably one of my favorite venomous snakes, and that is the Baboon Viper. Now, Baboon Vipers are found in the Central Africa region. They are a really heavy-bodied snake, and they pack a significant punch, super long fangs, and they have one of the highest venom yields of all venomous snakes. Because these snakes are so heavy-bodied, they are ambush predators, and they will lie and wait until prey walks by and then strike with extreme speed and accuracy. Oh, and did I mention that they have the longest fangs out of all venomous snakes? Yeah, these are not snakes that any average reptile keeper is going to want to own. But I do think there is one non-venomous species of snake that could fill that Gaboon-sized void in your heart. And that snake would be the blood python. So why the blood python, you ask? Well, for starters, their size. Both of these snakes are very heavy-bodied snakes, as you can tell. Both of these snakes can attain lengths to up to 6 feet long, with blood pythons even getting to about 7.5 feet. So they tend to get a little bit bigger than Baboon Vipers. Both of these snakes live in pretty tropical environments, with Baboon Vipers living in the Congo, and blood pythons living in Sumatra and Borneo and tropical places like that. Both of these snakes are ambush predators. Blood pythons, just like Baboon Vipers, will sit and wait for prey to walk by and then strike with amazing speed, but these guys are constrictors and can't kill you. The main difference between these two, besides the patterning, which both patternings are beautiful, but the main difference is the head size. Now, Baboon Vipers have humongous heads. Blood pythons have the smaller, what the heck was that? The smaller head, the python looking head. The most ironic thing about these two snakes is probably that blood pythons are actually the ones with the worst reputation between the two. And blood pythons are actually known to be a lot more defensive and quick to bite, whereas Gaboons are known for being generally docile for venomous snakes. So if you're like me and you just love Baboon Vipers, but you aren't ready to take that step into the venomous world yet, then I would recommend owning a blood python. They just got a much smaller head and their bite is way less painful. So coming in at number 3 on the list is a venomous snake that is different than every other venomous snake on this list, and that is the boom slang. Boom slangs are highly venomous snakes, but the reason why they're different than most other highly venomous snakes is because boom slangs are actually rear-fanged venomous. They're one of the few rear-fanged venomous snakes that can actually kill you. Boom slangs are very slender, medium-sized snakes that live in Africa and are almost exclusively arboreal. So what kind of snake has a slender body, is arboreal, and isn't going to kill you? Well, the answer might be a little ironic. A mangrove snake. Now, me saying a mangrove snake is ironic because the boom slang is rear-fanged venomous, and so is the mangrove snake. The difference is a boom slang bite can kill you, whereas a mangrove snake bite, it's probably just gonna cause you a little bit of irritation. And the reason why I put them on this list is because mangrove snakes, just like boom slangs, tend to spend most of their lives up in the trees, and they are very slender-bodied snakes. Now, I know there's a bunch of different species of mangrove snakes, and I'm not really gonna get into the specifics of each one. You could pick your favorite one. On average, both of these snakes tend to stay about the same size. Boega dendrophila, I think, is the largest of the mangrove snakes, and they get up to be about 7 feet long, 8 feet long, whereas the boom slang will probably max out at about around 6 feet. So about the same size. I do have to say though that when it comes to mangrove snakes and their venom, you do have to be careful, because if you have an allergy to the venom, then that's where it could cause you some serious problems. There's never been a recorded death from a mangrove snake bite, but you also don't want to be the first. So just keep that in mind if you were thinking about getting a mangrove snake.
You're not helping!
If you wanted to take it even a step further, boom slangs tend to be green, and there actually is a species of mangrove snake that is green as well, and that is the Boega cyanea. I know I just probably butchered that scientific name, but I am horrible with scientific names. And so if you wanted something that actually looked more like a boom slang than just a normal, you know, mangrove snake or silhouette, this is a silhouette black mangrove snake, but something like that, then you could go that route and get something that actually was green like a boom slang. Coming in at number 2 on the list is the banded water cobra. So the banded water cobra is a cobra species that lives in Central Africa, and as their name suggests, they tend to spend most of their time in or near water. They are a medium-sized and highly venomous snake. So what kind of snake looks similar to the banded water cobra, spends most of its time in or around bodies of water, and won't kill you? Well, you might already know the answer to this, and it's also a little bit ironic as well. The false water cobra. False water cobras look eerily similar to the banded water cobras in Africa, and that's pretty much how they got their names. It's also ironic because this is another rear-fanged venomous species. And so that's the reason why I decided to name my false water cobra Nausea, because I figured this was going to be the closest I would ever get to owning an actual cobra. Just like the banded water cobras, false water cobras tend to spend a tremendous amount of time in or around water sources. They also tend to get about the same size. False water cobras tend to be a little bit larger than the banded water cobra, but not by a lot. False water cobras also get their names for their ability to hood up like a true cobra would. The only difference is false water cobras, when they hood up, they stay horizontal, whereas something like a banded water cobra, if it were to hood up, would hood up vertically. Now, besides the obvious reasons such as the patterning or the ability to hood up, another reason why I put false water cobras on this list was because of their intelligence. True cobras are known to be highly intelligent snakes, and when it comes to false water cobras, you can see flashes of that same type of intelligence that you would find with true cobras. Now, some false water cobras do tend to have a little bit of an attitude, but if you work with them a lot and you put in the time, you can have a really tame animal like this one. Now, like the mangrove snake, I do feel like I need to put out another disclaimer out there for you guys. False water cobras are still rear-fanged venomous, which means that if you have an allergy or an allergic reaction to a bite, that's where you could cause problems, and that might be a hospital trip. Although for the majority of cases, there's never been a confirmed case of a death from a false water cobra bite, you don't want to be the first, and you just want to be extra careful when handling these guys. But honestly, the danger is nowhere near a banded water cobra. And finally, coming in at number 1 on the list, probably like the holy grail of all venomous snakes, and probably one of the most feared snakes on earth, is the black mamba. Black mambas are found in Africa, and they are one of the most venomous snakes in the world. They are a very slender-bodied snake and a very long snake, reaching lengths of up to 14 to 15 feet long. These snakes are in no way, shape, or form a snake that anybody should own unless you are the most experienced of keepers. These snakes are known for their defensive attitudes and their speed and agility. These are really formidable snakes. But you gotta admit, they are one of the coolest snakes in the world, and I can totally see why people would want to keep them as a pet, even though it is probably the worst idea you would ever make in your life. So what species of snake would check all the boxes and make a good alternative for the fearsome black mamba? The blue beauty rat snake. So why do I put these guys on the list, and why do I say that they're the best alternative for a black mamba? Well, to start off with, these are really long snakes. These snakes can reach at the maximum end up to 10 to 11 feet long, or on average they're probably gonna get around between 7 to 9 feet. They also got a little bit of attitude. I don't know if you guys could tell, but Jeannie here is always in that S position, ready to go. So they have a little bit of that black mamba attitude without having to worry about killing yourself, because these guys are not venomous at all, not even rear-fanged venomous. These guys, just like black mambas, are also semi-arboreal, so they do spend some of their time in the trees and some of their time on the ground. These snakes are really slender-bodied, very agile, very fast, and quick to strike, although if you work with them and if you take them out and handle them quite often, they can tame down really well. Jeannie is somewhat tamed down. I'm not gonna say he's fully tamed down, but he's a pretty well-mannered snake. And as you guys can tell, I can't even really put his whole body into the camera because he is so big. So just based off of their body type and their size, that's why I put them and compared them to the black mamba and think that they would just make a great alternative for a black mamba. And the reason why they are number one on the list is because black mambas are such an iconic species that if you could get anything that's, you know, even somewhat similar to it, then you must have an amazing snake. And I think that beauty snakes like this one fit that category. Ooh, you a little cranky, huh? Just don't turn around and get me on the nose, please. Ooh, he's not looking too happy. So that is it for today's video, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I just want to say one more time, I can't stress enough that this video was not meant to encourage anybody to go out and get a venomous snake and start taking care of venomous snakes. This was strictly for entertainment purposes. This was strictly my opinion and what snakes I think reminded me a lot of venomous snakes, and maybe could fill that venomous snake void in your heart if you really wanted to get into venomous but didn't want to die. With that being said, what did you guys think? Did you guys agree with this list? Did you guys disagree with this list? Was there any venomous snakes or alternative snakes that you would have added or took off of the list? Let me know down in the comments. Make sure you like this video, you guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and please share this video. But until next time, everybody, my name is Pierce LaValle. This is Genie. We are in Pierce's Planet, and remember, it's all about the reps, baby. Peace. Venomous snake. Oh yeah. Boom slangs are almost exclusively boom slangs are almost exclusively arboreal, and boom slangs are almost exclusively arboreal. Come on, Pierce. Come on, Pierce. You can do it. You can do it! Oh, you gotta be shitting me. Come on. False water cobras also are able to. What the f was that?